Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about AI and Stephen King and Hollywood writers and everybody freaking out over artificial intelligence taking their gerbs. Stephen King says, no, you don't have to worry about it because it sucks.
Yeah.
Basically. He's like, I totally get where you're coming from, because just a couple weeks ago, right, he had this thing in The Atlantic saying that his books were used to train AI, but now he's like, yeah, you know what? It's not very good. You really don't have much to worry about. But this could actually backfire for the WGA to have somebody like Stephen King come out and say, like, yeah, there's no threat really from AI.
He says he understands where they're coming from.
Yeah,
and their fears, but he says it's kind of unfounded. What kind of we said? We're like, I get people are upset. I get why they're worried. I think that there's, grounds for concern somewhat. But if you're good, you're good. And when you do this stuff, it doesn't always sound like a real person. And using it to generate maybe like, this is what they're worried about. They might use it for, brainstorming ideas instead of having 20 writers in the room to do the brainstorming. They could use like 5 writers in an AI. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's the thing. It's not going to replace humans. It will just cut down on the number of humans. So it's replacing only some of the humans
needed. He's basically saying, if I'm reading this correctly, if you're good, you don't have anything to worry about.
Which is what we've been saying.
The problem is a lot of writers in Hollywood aren't that good.
Yeah, they needed bodies in the room, so they just hired as many as they can, and now they don't need them all, and they all want to stay.
Right. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You will get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
If you subscribe. So Screen Rant. Why Stephen King isn't afraid of AI replacing writers. Ironically, if this article was written by AI, because this is a Valnet site. So, but no,
it's a very good possibility then.
It is. Stephen King's not afraid of AI replacing screenwriters, but he is sympathetic to the concerns.
That's where we're kind of at. We understand why people are upset. We understand why. I mean, I think video game people have more reason to be concerned.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to replace. It'll replace some of you, no question, but it's not going to replace all writers. But there's too many writers as it is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You still need somebody to oversee the bot farm. Because if you've ever tried writing anything with Chat GPT, you will know, especially if it's something that's supposed to pull up facts, like you really have to fact check it. Even doing an AI aided search on Google, like it doesn't always pull up correct information.
No.
And sometimes it has like a little thumbs up and thumbs down. So you'll have to train it to.
It'll get better over time.
It will get better. It's gotten pretty damn good, pretty damn quick. I mean, 5 or 10 years from now, yeah, you might have to worry about it.
But this is where it gets, here's comments I think they're going to rub people the wrong way. Okay?
Yes, they are.
Because he's talking about how, they're lesser in quality by AI. But then he kind of makes a comment that it's funny. Let me just say that I get the worries about AI as it applies to screenwriters and to writers who are involved with writing for TV. Because there's this fear, I think it's an unstated fear, that AI has sort of been writing sitcoms all along, and some of the drama series too, because they're pretty formulaic. Oh, wait, so you just said people think that this AI because y'all write
monkeys
but
on.
It's funny coming from him.
Yes, monkeys on typewriters. Yeah, he says, "Oh my God, is he alt-right?"
I don't know. Well, he really hates Trump, and he makes sure. But no, it's funny because everybody's joked that Stephen King just writes for people who don't read.
Yes,
and his stuff's pretty formulaic itself. But he's like, "You're good," because it's not because everybody thinks you're formulaic anyway. They're pretty by the numbers. Oh no! Ooh. But as far as AI goes, the book's written by AI, scripts written by AI. You might as well be King Canute trying to turn back the tide because it's going to happen. So basically, you said it's here to stay, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that I'm all like, yes, robots, do your thing, purge Hollywood.
No.
I
mean, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
That's what he's saying too. Oh my God, he agrees with Clownfish TV. But I find it very, very difficult to believe the AI until it achieves real sentience, which is ways away yet. I hope, can write anything. I've read poems by AI that were in the style of, say, William Blake, and they have the God stuff and the lamb stuff and all this, but it ain't the same. It ain't even close. Oh God, he used the word ain't. My teacher would have killed him. It's like the difference between Budweiser and some generic beer.
Oh,
oh my God, this is getting better.
Budweiser.
I guess he figures if he's going to stick his foot, he's going to stick it in all the way. So both of them get you a little bit tingly, but it ain't the same. He does, my whole problem with his comment is he keeps using the word ain't. Like, I'm going to talk down to you people. You ain't got nothing to worry about because you ain't got nothing to...
Look how folksy
you're not smart enough.
This is funny, though. To have somebody like Stephen King, come out and say, yeah, hey, your stuff's kind of shit anyway, so people...
No, it's formulaic.
It's formulaic. So people probably think it's written by bots anyway.
Right, because it's by the numbers, unlike his stuff.
I mean, look, he's not wrong in the fact that... Now, here's the thing. He's not wrong in the fact that you have to have a human touch, in this stuff. Preferably human.
Better be touch, it better be human.
For now. Where AI is definitely going to take gerbs first, it's going to be in the newsroom, because if you're just stating facts.
Oh, jobs. I'm trying to figure out what the heck a gerb is.
Gerbs.
Like, what's a gerb?
I'm trying to be folksy like Stephen King.
Gerb.
If they're taking your gerbs, it's going to be journalists for sure. For 100% sure, because you're just there are only so many ways. If you're sticking to the facts, there are only so many ways you can recombobulate information.
But that's the caveat, isn't it? You have to stick to the facts.
Well, I think they got their people mixed up, right? So all the creative writers, they need to get out of the CNN newsroom.
Now.
Yeah, they need to get out of the newsroom and start writing fiction. Actual fiction.
What was our story we're doing later about fiction becoming fact or being interpreted as fact? That's a whole other video involving Disney. But anyway, continue.
But he's throwing shade. He's on two levels. He's like, one, your stuff is so bad that they probably think it's written by bots anyway. And two, if you're actually good, you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, but he also saying it's not going away.
It's not going away.
So shaking your fist at it isn't going to stop the train from running you over. I mean,
that's pretty much it. Like,
you're going to get run over either way. You might as well try to outrun it or get your own train and move ahead of it.
So this old man is not yelling at a cloud. Okay.
No,
he's not yelling at the cloud. He's saying it's here to stay. Now, where AI is going to be helpful for writers and creatives and people is basically working almost like an assistant, I think.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying it's not considered literary material or source material, but it can be used as a tool in creation of scripts. So what it can do is it can generate you can ask it to generate you some ideas for a show based on these parameters, or based on what's popular, what kind of show would be good. Or you did it with Star Wars and stuff, like,
Yeah, just based on what you know of the fandom on the market, what would have been a better outline for...
And it was better.
It was better for Star Wars. Again, outline for the Star Wars movies, potential outlines for Star Wars movies that would have continued the storyline set up in episodes 1 through 6 organically and would have resonated better with audiences. And it gave me an outline.
The issue here, but this is what you run into this even with real people, is if everybody's kind of using the same, prompts and different, they're going to get the same kinds of stories recommended to them. But that happens if you're a real person anyway. Like, everybody, no idea is unique. Everybody has, similar ideas. It's just how you present them, or who has the most connections to get theirs done first.
That is true.
That actually came from a cartoon studio, which we're not going to name, that talked to us about.
Yeah, no, it's 100%. I mean, look at back in the 90s, they had several movies that would come out at the same time.
They did that on purpose, though.
Like Armageddon and Deep Impact came out at the same time.
Volcano and Dante's Peak. No, that was intentional, though. Like, there's a difference between oopsie doopsie, we just happened to have the same idea. They would hear the other place was doing it, and then, oh, hurry, shit, we gotta get a volcano movie.
I mean, we had Snakes on a Plane and then Snakes on a Starship.
I was just like, if that was what it was, it was like, I hear our competition's doing a volcano movie or a meteor movie. We got to do something about it now.
Do something about it now.
We got to compete,
beat them in the market.
Let's give them our flavor of volcano.
Our flavor of volcano. Yeah. So I mean, this is kind of funny though, coming from it, because this does not help their case at all, because the studios are going to look at this and be like, well, Stephen King says it's not that big of a deal. So,
I wonder how this is going to affect Stephen King. Like, I mean, are people going to come after Stephen King?
Probably.
I'm like, I don't think they know he's that yet, because, I mean, just recently his books are being used to train AI.
Yeah, he was not happy about that.
Yeah,
he was like,
but now he's like about facing it and being like, yeah,
Yeah.
It's not gonna put me out of. I'm old anyway. It's not gonna put me out of a job.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm not real. Well, that's just it. I mean, his this is the thing, like anymore with any idea you have, any creative idea, you have to be more than just a writer, more than just an artist. You have to actually create things and then get those things to market. And, it's not enough just to be a creative person, because now you're going to have competition in that space. If you want to make actually new things, you are going to have to be more than that. And that's the thing with Stephen King and, all these other authors, James Patterson, which he hates James Patterson, but James Patterson was actually a marketing guy first. He was a marketing executive.
Right. Let me guess, they're too by the numbers.
Probably by the numbers, but he probably crunched numbers.
But he made those numbers.
Yeah. And he's like, yep, this is what's going to sell. This is what people want. I'm looking at these numbers and there's some commonality here. And you work in marketing, you start to see some patterns. You're like, yeah, this is the kind of stuff that sells. It doesn't matter if it's objectively good or objectively bad, or people going to buy it.
Well, if it was objectively good or bad, he might not have had, Stephen King himself might not have had the hits.
That's the whole thing. Yep.
I'm just saying, I write jokes that Stephen King isn't the best. I mean, I personally haven't read a lot of Stephen King. I've read some Stephen King, but not a lot. I'm not really into those kind of books. But I know people who have talked to, they're just like, yeah, he's kind
Stephen
of
King.
like the lowest common denominator. And that's not a bad thing, because he sells a lot of stuff. And some of his ideas are good, and they turn them into movies, and they do really well because it resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah,
it's not high art. Okay?
He takes a lot of common fears and relatable characters and relatable situations.
That's just what it is, and put it in a way people relate to and understand.
Yeah, because if it was, I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
He's not talking over people's heads.
And this isn't. I'm not knocking Stephen King. I'm saying, because I'm sure we got people out there that love Stephen King.
Yeah, they're probably like, you hate it. That's not what we're saying.
For God's sake, they say
That's
we hate
not what
this,
we're
we love
saying.
this. Whoa, you said black, but that must mean you must hate
what
white.
I'm saying is, if he's mad at James Patterson because he markets books by what sells, he does the same thing himself, because he tries to do stories, takes, like you said, common things, and writes it in a way that anybody can pick it up. He's not highfalutin mumbo jumbo and over your head, as they would have said in Anne of Green Gables, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like Stephen King is not Asimov. He's not super cerebral, but that's how you sell a lot of books, because let's be honest,
it's not super deep.
It's not super deep, because you really can't be. If you want to sell a lot of books and you don't want to hurt people's brain, because if it's too thinky, people...
That's an entertainment story they can read and throw away.
Pretty much. And look, I think King is actually aware of his place. Like I'm
Is he though? Because I don't think he is.
Well,
I really
Patterson,
truly
I
don't.
think is. Patterson doesn't even write his own damn books. He's like, no, I'm in the book business.
Well,
like,
Patterson's just a brand name they throw on
he's
books.
just a brand name they throw on books. He's like Colonel Sanders. He's like the Colonel Sanders of books, you know.
What's the finger looking good?
My books are finger looking
equivalent?
good. No, that's the Twilight girl. She was the one who wrote the finger looking good books.
I was thinking more
licking fingers,
like
licking
of the
toes,
50 Shades girls, but you know.
50 Shades. Yeah, well, hers was actually a Twilight fan.
Yes, right?
So it's all
anyway,
it's all one big book circle jerk. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
I think.
He's gonna piss everybody off. It's gonna be fun to watch.
He's gonna piss off these Hollywood writers.
Yeah, he likes to piss people off, so it's just on brand.
There we go, guys. Gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.